Good morning. Thank you for joining me in this morning mindfulness practice. Yesterday, I was talking about giving and receiving. What you put out is what you receive. What you give, you get. This could also be called the law of karma or the law of cause and effect. Our thoughts, our words, our deeds are the threads of the net which we throw around ourselves. If I heard the story of a bug in a Turkish rug. And when you're in the middle of something, if you're just a bug in a rug, all you see are problems, barriers in front of you. But if you stood back and looked at the beautiful Turkish rug from a distance, you would see how every thread, every fiber, was part of a bigger picture, a beautiful tapestry. So if you're focused on your problems, you could be like that bug in a rug, just looking at everything around you as a restriction, a problem, a barrier. And yet to look at the whole rug, the whole big picture, the whole of life, the whole of what's going on, your problem is something that will strengthen you, cause you to grow, allow you to become stronger, allow you to go through what you need to go through in order to have what you want to have. Deepak Chopra writes the 7 spiritual laws of success, and number 3 is the law of karma or cause and effect. The third spiritual law of success is the law of karma or cause and effect. Karma is both action and the consequence of that action. Everyone has heard the expression, what you sow is what you reap. If we want to create happiness in our lives, we must learn to sow the seeds of happiness. Therefore, the law of karma implies the action or conscious choice making. When we choose actions that bring happiness and success to others, the fruit of our karma is happiness and success. In every moment, we have access to infinity, an infinite number of choices, an infinity of choices. Some choices are made consciously, while others are made unconsciously. And I like to say that looking at your life, whether positively or negatively, you cannot gain something positive if you're looking at it negatively, if you're in a negative vibration. But it's not about positive thinking, but through conscious transformation, conscious transformation of your thought energy that will change your life circumstance, that will allow you to look at things differently, that will allow you to focus on well-being and feeling in a good intention rather than the opposite. So Deepak Chopra says, in every moment, we have access to an infinity of choices. Some choices are made consciously, while others are made unconsciously. Unfortunately, a lot of our choices are made unconsciously, and therefore we don't think they are choices, and yet they are. As a result of conditioning, our choices are often triggered by people and circumstances into predictable outcomes. Deepak says, if I were to insult you, you would most likely make the choice of being offended. If I were to pay you a compliment, you would most likely make the choice of being flattered. But think about it. You could make the choice of not being offended by an insult. You could make the choice of not letting a compliment flatter you either. The best way to use karmic law is to step back and witness the choices you are making in every moment. When you make any choice, ask yourself two things. What are the consequences of this choice? And will the choice I'm making bring happiness to me and to those around me? There is always one choice that will create maximum happiness, both for you and for those around you. This choice is the spontaneous right action because it's the action that nourishes you and everyone else who is influenced by that action. How do you make spontaneous right choices? By paying attention to sensations of comfort or discomfort in your body. At the moment you make a choice, ask your body, what are the consequences of this choice? If your body sends a message of comfort, that's the right choice. If you feel uneasiness in your body, even as you ask the question, then it's not the appropriate choice. For some people, the message of comfort or discomfort is in the area of the solar plexus. You might call that your mind-body connection, the gut instinct, or what is your gut telling you? Deepak Chopra says for most people, it's in the area of the heart. Put your attention on your heart and ask your heart what to do. Then pay attention to how you feel. The response may be the faintest level of feeling, but it's there. You will know the answer is right because it will feel right without any lingering doubts. The heart knows the correct answer because it taps into the field of pure potentiality and infinite organizing power and takes everything into account. You might say that's like stepping back and looking at that beautiful tapestry, the Turkish rug not being the little bug in the middle of the threads worrying about how to get out, but stepping back, just allowing infinite intelligence, the universal mind, God, your higher self, pure potentiality and infinite organizing power takes everything into account. You know, the Greeks called the heart, your subconscious mind, your heart. And it's your subconscious mind that's running your life. It's 95 to 98% of what's going on. So if you're asking your heart, what's right for you? Deepak Chopra says the heart is intuitive and holistic. It has a win-win orientation. And though the answer may not seem rational, the heart is far more accurate than anything within the realm of rational thought. You can use the law of karma to create money and the flow of all good things to you. But first, become aware of the choices that you are making in every moment. You could ask yourself, what do I really want? What if this worked out? How would I feel if that's how my life really was? And then not going into the feeling of the opposite, the lack, limitation, the scarcity, the missing what you really want, but actually feeling, what would it be like? Why do you want what you want? Because it'll make you feel better. It'll help you live a better life. It's not greed, it's the spiritual side of you wanting to experience more life, to express more of every good that life has to offer. You can use the law of karma to create money and the flow of all good things to you, but first become aware of the choices that you are making in every moment. The more you become aware of your choices, the more you will make choices that are spontaneously correct, both for you and those around you. So I'm going to go back to what Deepak Chopra said earlier. If I were to insult you, you would most likely make the choice of being offended. We don't even realize it's a choice. Most of the time, we just spontaneously react. Someone insults me, I have to fight back. I have to be upset. No, you don't. You can allow it to pass by. What the other person is doing is trying to take you down into a lower level of vibration, or to hurt you, or to make you feel something, and no one can make you feel anything. You have the choice. You can allow it or disallow it. You have a conscious mind that you can reject that insult, or you can empathize or pity the person, thinking they have to use insults to make themselves feel better. Do you just want to have a wonderful day? Then allow that insult to pass right through you, over you, around you. Don't accept it. And when people pay you a compliment, you see people sometimes who don't have a good self-image, and they'll say, "Oh no, that's not true. You're just flattering me." You could make the choice of allowing yourself to receive that compliment and just say thank you. Deepak says you could make the choice of not being offended by an insult. You could make the choice of not letting a compliment flatter you either. So he gives us some things to think about. How can you apply the law of karma to the choices you've already made? Most people pay their karmic debts, unconsciously, of course. Sometimes there's a lot of suffering involved, but the law of karma says no debt in the universe ever goes unpaid. If you want to transform your karma to a more desirable experience, look for the seed of opportunity within every adversity and tie that seed of opportunity to your dharma, or your purpose in life. This will enable you to convert the adversity into a benefit and transform the karma into a new expression. Begin by asking yourself, what message is the universe giving me? What can I learn from this experience, and how can I make it useful to my fellow human beings? For example, if you break your leg while playing sports, perhaps the message is that you need to slow down and be more attentive to your body. And if your purpose in life is to teach others, then by asking, what can I learn from this experience, and how can I make it useful to my fellow human beings, you may decide to share what you've learned by writing a book about playing sports safely. This transforms your karma into a positive experience. Well, that reminds me, if you look back in the history of sporting events, hockey players used to be on the ice without helmets or face masks. I remember as a little girl watching Hockey Night in Canada, and Gump Worsley, Gump Worsley was one of the most famous, toughest goalies, and he would defend the net against the slap shots of the other hockey players, and sometimes he used his face to stop the puck. He had all kinds of scars, I'm sure many concussions, but eventually people realized, oh, what if we wore a helmet to protect our heads from the puck or from being slammed into the boards or from falling and hitting your head on the ice? That saved a lot of deaths, a lot of concussions, a lot of scars and injuries. And especially once they put face masks on the front, those cages that you could look out, they stopped the puck from smashing into your face, breaking bones, breaking teeth, causing pain and anguish. And now people wear helmets to go bike riding, to play any kind of sports. The law of karma can help future generations look at the way we did things and say, why don't we just do this instead? And that'll save a lot of pain, a lot of anguish. What if we just tweak something? It could be so much easier, so much better. What can I learn from this experience, and how can I make it useful to my fellow human beings? Sometimes what you went through can help future generations, can help another person. Maybe you want to write a book and share it, your experience, to help your fellow human beings. Deepak Chopra says this transforms your karma into a positive experience. You can also transcend the seeds of your karma by becoming independent of it. The way to do this is to keep experiencing the self, your spirit, by going into silent meditation and coming out again. This is like washing a dirty piece of cloth in a stream of water. Each time you wash it, you take away a few stains and it gets a little cleaner. Every action is a karmic episode because action generates memory. Memory generates desire, and desire generates action again. As you become conscious of these seeds of manifestation, you become a conscious choice maker, and the actions you generate will be evolutionary. As long as karma is evolutionary, both for you and those around you, then the fruit of karma will be happiness and success. So, in summary, Deepak Chopra says to experience the law of karma, witness the choices you make in every moment. The best way to prepare for any moment in the future is to be fully conscious of the present. What are you doing now? How is it affecting you? What choices can you make? And instead of saying, I don't have a choice, change your perspective. Think about what if you made a different choice. Be fully conscious in the present. We can't change the past. The future is not here yet, and it's not promised to anyone. You can only make choices in the present now moment. Deepak says, whenever you make a choice, ask yourself 2 questions. What are the consequences of this choice? And will this choice bring happiness to me and to those who are affected by this choice? How would your life change if you made a different choice? How would your day go if you decided not to respond when someone insulted you, or to be happy no matter what's going on in the economy, in the world, in the news, on your job? What if you decided that you're just going to be at your best today, put out your best work, and be happy? How would that change your day? How would that change the people around you? And the third step that Deepak gives us to experience the law of karma is to ask your heart for guidance and be guided by its message of comfort or discomfort. If the choice feels comfortable, go ahead with that choice. If the choice feels uncomfortable, then don't make that choice. How many times do we think that we have to do something because of another person, or because that's the way it's always been, or because we've already invested time and money? What if you just made a different choice? How would that change your destiny, your karma, your purpose in life, your path? If you decided that you wanted to do something that you really felt called to do, rather than doing the same job you've always done, or taking the same action you've always taken, a change of thought, a change of action creates a different reaction from the universe, a different result in your life. You don't have to do anything, but there are consequences. Decide what it is that you would love in your life. Write it down. Write down how it would feel if you were living the life of your dreams, if you were following your dharma, your purpose. What kind of work would you be doing? What would you be doing in your leisure activities? You don't have to ask how. If you just sit quietly and ask your heart, you will get the answer. It will come from deep inside of your subconscious, your heart, your desire. This works better when you're sitting quietly, comfortably, alone without any distractions, and just asking yourself, what do I really want? Sometimes it takes asking several times, not what do you think you can have, not what are you settling for, or what you have to do in order to get that, but what do you really want, and what would life be like if you made that choice? If you followed your heart, if you did what's important to you and didn't listen to the noise of the outside world, if you made your choice in faith rather than out of fear. Faith and fear are both invisible entities, energies. You can decide that you're going to go after what you really desire because that's the right choice for you. It makes you feel good. And then make that decision and write it down. Start taking action and have faith that everything you need in order for that to develop into your reality, everything will be attracted to you because of the vibrational energy that you are in. The energy that you put out is the energy that comes back to you. When you think about the choices you make and how you can choose to feel happy, healthy, focused, at ease, everything in your life changes. Life becomes easier. You become happier and you affect the people around you because you're putting out the vibrational energy of happy, healthy love, respect, wealth in every area of your life, richly blessed in relationships. What is it that you want? Write it down and know why. Sometimes you have to ask yourself over and over. There are YouTube videos on 7 levels of why. Why is it important to you? Why do you want it? And your why should make you cry. Your purpose in life, what you're going after, the choices that you make with your heart, you'll know they're right for you because you will feel it. Create a wonderful day. Enjoy your weekend. Choose to be happy. Enjoy your weekend, and I'll see you back here Monday morning at 7. Thank you.